Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Inside Gators Basketball with Todd Golden, presented by UFL. I'm Sean Kelley, and of course, the head coach of the Gators, Todd Golden. The Gators split their last two games, a home loss to Auburn and then a dominant win at South Carolina to now find themselves at 15-6 overall and 6-2 in the SEC, a half game out of first place here as we basically are reaching now the midway point of the SEC schedule. Coach, let's look back at those two games. The loss to Auburn at home, and then the win on the road against South Carolina. What are your takeaways from these last two?
Well, obviously, Saturday was disappointing. It was not the outcome that we desired entering the game. I thought for the first time in a long time, our opponent was mentally and physically tougher than we were, especially in the first half, and you could argue the whole game. And, we had been coming off a 5-game winning streak. I think we had reached a point where we had gotten very confident. I don't want to say arrogant, but very confident. And we just didn't come in with the same mentality that we needed to play the right way. And credit Auburn. I thought they did a really good job of punching us in the mouth early, getting up 19-5. And when we answered that challenge, extending it again up to 18 as late as 18 minutes ago in the second half. Now, I was proud of our guys, the way they stayed the course. I thought we battled well to get back in the game, but against really good clubs, you can't bury yourself in such a big hole to start the game.
And the space in between, Coach, because we're going to get to the record-setting performance against South Carolina. And again, it's not like you played your worst game of the season, but there was that space in between the loss to Auburn and then what lies ahead on the road. How did you and your staff handle that time?
Well, I think when you have a game like Saturday's result against Auburn, you got to use it in a positive way and use it to motivate your players and make sure their mindset is right going into the next game. And so transparently, that's what we did. We graded the tape pretty hard, had some really productive film sessions. I thought we had two of our best practices that we've had since conference play started. And we really just emphasized having a great mentality coming into the South Carolina game.
We've reached that time of year where you don't get a whole lot of practice time, and you do have to be careful about guys' legs and health and all that. How do you, though, press the gas for them and ramp things up without, I guess, getting outside the guardrails of this time of year?
Well, I think one of the issues that we had going in the Auburn game is we got into a little bit of too good of a rhythm, in terms of the days before the games, where we're 2 days out, a little lighter, a lot of film, day before we practice, and then we play. And so coming into the South Carolina game, 2 days out, we practiced really hard. We played a lot of 5-on-5, made sure we defended really well in practice, and then the day before played again. So that was unique for our preparation.
And then, of course, there was the win at South Carolina, a record-setting performance for the Gators as they won on the road, 95-48. It matched the largest margin of victory ever for the Gators in an SEC game, and it was the largest margin of victory for the Gators on the road in SEC play in program history. Coach, you and I have talked that it's nearly impossible to play the perfect game. How close was perfect here for the Gators in that win?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think we did a really good job from start to finish, defending, rebounding, taking care of the ball, making shots. And, I thought the first half was reminiscent to our effort on the road at Oklahoma, where we got off to a great start and got up by as many as 24 in the first half, up by 22 at halftime, I believe. But in that game, we did not play with the same mentality in the second half. We allowed them to make threes. They scored over 50 points in the second half, still a very comfortable victory. But we weren't satisfied with the complete picture of that game, whereas, when we played South Carolina, I thought that was a great 40-minute effort.
Coach, it seemed like you got contributions from every level of your roster. How would you describe the way the starters did what they did and then the rotation behind them?
Every single guy performed the way we expect them to play, and it's hard to come across, especially in a league game, to have that type of effort. But our starters set the tone. Did a great job defending and rebounding and making sure we got off to the start we needed. I thought our bench, the guys that play a lot, Micah, Irby, Isaiah Brown, all gave us huge minutes and really provided a lift off the bench. And then I want to give some credit to the other guys like CJ Ingram and Alex Lloyd. I thought they had great minutes. In other games when they got opportunities, they looked like freshmen. I thought in the South Carolina game, they did not look like freshmen. They looked like guys that were ready to compete and play at a high level. Victor Mikic, even Big Ollie. I thought all those guys did a really nice job.
The 24 hours leading up to the game, bounce back was probably mentioned at least a dozen times, not just for the team, but maybe even for a player like Alex Condon. In what ways did he bounce back from the 2 games prior?
Well, I think Alex, as we've discussed a lot, is a great winning player. And I think at times, because people want to talk about his shooting, he hangs on to that a little too much. And we just wanted to make sure he understands and, that our program is behind him being such a winning player and just flying around the floor and playing with physicality. And I thought he did that in droves against South Carolina. Almost a triple-double, 8 assists, only 2 turnovers, 9 rebounds on the glass, and 10 points as well.
The 8 assists for Alex was a career high for the Australian, and he now is the second leading assist man on your roster. That's seemingly uncommon right now to have your power forward in the top 2 assist tallies for the entire year. Why is that? Is it because of him individually, or is it the position that you've placed him into?
It's a combination of both, but we wouldn't be able to do it if he didn't have the skill set that he has. And I think, with our roster and the talent that we have, allowing him to play a little bit of that point forward position where we throw him the ball and allow him to be the decision maker or the playmaking hub is really, really good for this team.
Ruben, double-double, 5 of the last 6 now, and now on the watch list for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award. That is announced this week as well. Coach, where's Ruben at this point, and what's the ceiling for him as we head for the second half of the conference schedule?
I'm not going to put one on him simply because he continues to get better and better each week. And 7 for 7 in the South Carolina game, incredibly efficient from the floor, did a great job commanding the glass again and did a great job switching. That was a big part of our game plan in that South Carolina game, a team that can shoot it 1 through 5, and we wanted to be aware and mindful of that and not let them get going early in the game. He had to switch on Michi Johnson. He had to guard Elijah Strong, who was a capable 3-point shooter, and he did a great job that way.
6-2 in the conference. Is this where you thought you'd be at this point?
It's hard to say. We feel like maybe we should be 7-1 and maybe we've let one slip by, but we're definitely not disappointed with it. I think we're in a really good position and we got a big stretch coming up here.
Up next with Todd Golden is presented by UF Health. That is a rare Sunday game for the Gators. A 1 o'clock start inside the O-Dome where the Gators have won 38 of their last 41 games, which is remarkable in itself. The matchup with Alabama kind of tees up what for you and your staff, Coach?
Another great opportunity for us. I think a club that's playing very well. Obviously, a unique midseason acquisition for them that's lifted them and given them a little more size, physicality, and rim protection. Obviously, they have great guard play with Phelan and with Holloway. And we got to do a really good job defending the 3-point line and making sure we impose our will on these guys in the paint.
You mentioned Bediako, who's playing for them now. They change with him, obviously, but everything around them has this story attached to it now. Coach, when a team's in that situation, that's one thing. The opponent has to face it in what way?
Honestly, we won't talk about it a whole lot. We won't change a whole lot. We'll include him on personnel. We've got to make sure we do a good job preventing his rim rolls and do a good job keeping him off the glass, and then making sure we take care of him when we're on offense, not allowing him to just sit there in the paint and clean up the rim. So, as you said, it makes him a better team. We're mindful of that, and we're going to go compete.
Let's keep it going.
Thank you.
Head coach Todd Golden, I'm Sean Kelley. We'll see you next time, and as always, go Gators.